Now to the reasons why I brought up creative termination. We all know Lorena told the big lie about me just days ago on April 10th, and it wasn't a lie born of self-preservation either. It was very deliberate. What Lorena started to do was issue out verbal and written orders to complete a highly detailed graphics request to be sent to the hub by COB or close of business. Sounds reasonable enough, however, when you put it within context of what else was going on, such as Lorena giving me these orders for 3 straight workdays, the first 2 times being at the very last minute when she knew I would be busy the most. In addition, this came at a time when I was out scouting and snapping photos for a storyboard in each of those days, per Lorena's orders, with the longest scouting trip consuming 4 hours, and I wasn't able to take a lunch that day because I had to get back for nightly topicals, which by the way, due to the pretentious nature of Lorena wanting a perfect looking storyboard through revision after revision, and after I had wasted many hours scouting and storyboarding, this falls under the final complaint of grandiose ideas and unrealistic expectations. But more of that in another video. To Kathy's credit, she graciously helped out by writing the topical copy, however, I still had to shoot and edit, along with composing the smarter than your smartphone storyboarding. A very full workload on those days. Because my memory is fuzzy, I can't say for certain I filled out the graphics request the first day, but it was definitely completed on the second day. It was done. That is, until Lorena decided it wasn't good enough and wanted me to add more detail. Being that I was extremely busy at the time, I tweaked the wording a bit, and this too was not good enough for Lorena, so she ordered at 5:24 p.m. to again revise the graphics request by the end of my shift. Okay, I'm trying something new to shorten the length of the video. Hopefully this split screen works for you. Feel free to read the email on your own. There's a lot of technical jargon that I'm skipping over so we can address Lorena's justification for revisions. For now, please focus on the lower half of your screen. So for the first email sent at 3:34, her first priority was to carp about terminology. It was a tomato-tomato issue Lorena was hung up on for some reason. She was under the impression that title art isn't a logo, which would be a complete shock to most people in the fashion or financial industry, where some of those respective companies only use text as their trademarked logo. Lorena's second item was ordering superfluous detailing. The hub already had a script to follow and a master clip. All they would have to do is follow either of those to know exactly where the audio was hitting and what text was going into a chat bubble. The third item points to Lorena's inexperience. Questioning why I was requesting a horizontal and vertical logo exposes her ignorance on design. When producing what is expected to be a lengthy campaign, logos, or in this case text treatment, multiple iterations are requested to give the producer options, because when you're working with footage, you'll need a logo that blends in well with the shot framing. And if it wasn't mentioned enough, Lorena created a fourth item on removing the word logo to avoid confusion. The second email at 5:24 is mostly repeat, but the first paragraph shows how Lorena wants the producer to cater to the hub, even though technically the producer is supposed to be the client. There were only 2 moments in the 30-second spot where the Radisson logo was in the shot, and it was easy to find, and there wouldn't have been as much hunting as Lorena put it, which, going back to the second write-up with Kathy, proves how Lorena wasted my time chasing down trivial issues. Revising and revising to a manager's appeasement is a bad policy, especially when these orders came in successive workdays after Lorena committed to telling the big lie. So you remember how cordial I was to Lorena in the audio about rotoscoping? It should be interesting to note the powwow I had with Kathy took place earlier on that very same day. Despite being absolutely frustrated with Lorena's non-stop hounding and sabotaging of projects, I was very composed in that discussion. Not exactly the behavior of someone who makes people fearful around him. Alright, back to the write-up. Subsequently, issues started to arise with the RFS requests you had submitted, resulting in escalating frustration at the hub level. Email correspondence documents these frustrations. During my conversation with the hub on this matter, it was discussed that their desire was to help you understand best communication practices. Some of these practices were exactly what Lorena had been attempting to communicate with you and encouraging you to follow. However, despite all of these attempts, your requests remained unclear, which resulted in further delays to project completion. As the head of Creative Services Department, I must take steps to formally address yada yada yada. Now to address the hub, I don't personally know these people as they're based in Florida, but the design manager I had to deal with was, and I've heard the same word independently from other people, smarmy. I relayed this to both Kathy and HR Lisa during the second write-up meeting, which again fell on deaf ears. To show exactly how smarmy, I'll present to you an email response to a very valid and urgent question. I was having issues with a graphic the hub sent. The lower third doesn't have an alpha. Is there a mat that goes with it? For those who are unfamiliar with the terminology, a lower third is the text information you see in the promotion and usually on top of a graphic design. An alpha channel is basically telling the hardware what the empty space around the subject is and hides it from view. A mat is a bit more old school but is still in use today. It's the same concept as an alpha channel, except this is a separate file and needs to be reassembled with a graphic. Now here's the art director's response. PNGs, graphic format, are inherently keyable, same as alpha. It works. Let me know if he figured it out. Well, since I was on a deadline, I needed an immediate answer to the question or help to resolve the issue, not some condescending declarative with no offer of solution. For some reason, the file was not translating well to Final Cut, so rather than wait on the hub, I took the file and did a workaround by going through After Effects and then re-importing to the editor. Incidentally, months later when I was sending footage files of the Smarter Than Your Smartphone project to the hub, they were encountering similar issues on their end. But unlike the February 14th incident, I continued to work with the hub, re-exporting footage files until they got one that worked. The frustration from the hub that Kathy points to in the write-up can be explained again with, who else? Lorena. In the final stretch, the hub was screwing up. Despite the information having been placed in the RFS database, they weren't following direction. So naturally, I informed the hub diplomatically of their mistakes and requested the correct revisions, to which Lorena immediately countermanded my corrections. This happened more than a few times, and her reasoning was not valid. So with conflicting orders, the hub was obviously confused, and who knows what discussions Lorena had with the hub concerning this project. Though this audio clip is from 2 days after the second write-up, it illustrates how relentless and intent Lorena was in sabotaging the project.
It doesn't have anything listed for Storm version. So that's why I'm confused on why you're,
Because he's holding an umbrella for nothing then. I see.
Check out my severe weather alert.
It is daylight.
Yeah, but he's holding an umbrella for nothing. And it's not even inclement weather.
But that's not the hub. That's production of directing your shoot. That's not necessarily.
What do you mean?
The hub didn't put the umbrella there.
Yeah, I know, but he's holding an umbrella for nothing. That was the whole point, was that it was going to be stormy.
So on your request.
Yes.
So play it again. Because on your email you mentioned something about daylight. It's daylight.
Yes.
But it is daylight.
Yes, it should be daylight, yes, but I also said it should be a storm.
It should be a storm. So adding lightning is what you want.
No, I guess overcast and the lightning would be fine.
I think adding overcast might be difficult with the skyline, because see how they have the blue there?
They did a good job with darkening the other ones.
Is it nighttime?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
No, that's not a difference. The
Well, day and
skyline
night.
wasn't taken at nighttime, was it?
What was that?
Was the skyline taken at night?
Yeah. No, that's daytime.
What
This
I'm
is
saying-
daytime skyline.
What I'm saying is it doesn't take much effort to change.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm asking about your email that you sent. It's confusing because on your list there, he has InTag, he has Neighborhood 1 and Neighborhood 2. Nowhere on his email does it say requesting a lightning, and it does look a little overcast to me.
It says it in RFS.
What does it say?
It says we need a storm version
It
with
looks
daylight
stormy.
morning.
It looks stormy to me.
It doesn't look stormy. It's the same one as the other one.
It's daylight. That's the difference. It's daylight.
That is.
The clouds are moving fast.
That's not. Those aren't storm clouds, though.
I think
this-
you need to be more clear.
Why
on
is it daylight and this is dark?
Because it's the gradient of the coloring. It's not necessarily.
Nothing great. Okay.
I think you need to maybe show an example of what you want, and so that they can better execute. Because I don't know that I understand what you're requesting. So that's why I just came over here to ask, so I could just help you request what you want.
Yeah, I can't be more clear than this. It has to be a storm version of the daylight.
So you want lightning in it?
It doesn't have to be lightning. It could be just overcast storm clouds. You could whatever they used for the last one for the night version.
What would you consider an overcast storm cloud?
Well, let's find the other RFS one.
I'm just trying to help here. And again, like I said before writing a note to Jim, we need to collectively collect our thoughts between me and Kathy and you before we respond to him.
I was trying to correct one of their errors because they weren't reading the RFS.
Let me finish. That's why in the response that you replied to him, before that I replied to him saying that I needed to check with Kathy. I do not want to send them down a direction if it's okay. So that's just more work for them. So again, I will just say, as I've said before, We need to just, and this is like we do on every project. I do this with caching.
Okay.
So what is it you want from that and the other one?
You see what they have here going on? All these particles.
That's the lightning.
No, they got cloud particles. They got a lot of stuff going on here.
Okay, then that's what you need to be specific in requesting, saying that you want.
I requested it. Did I not tell you? I requested
You
it.
said you want clouds going through the background, like the one in the nighttime shot.
Yeah, so the storm
Let's
version
look-
with daylight.
I'm going to repeat again. Did you specifically ask for the same storm clouds that are in
Yes,
the
RFS.
PM? Okay, let's open up RFS. I just want to help them understand what you're requesting. Okay, that's not what I just said. What I just asked you is, did you request the same cloud coverage in the nighttime version in the AM version? That's what I just asked you. And you know what? It
It's right
kind of
there.
looks stormy
It doesn't look stormy.
with the.
I don't know how you can get white clouds to be stormy.
Let me finish. If you add lightning, that will have a more effect on the storm. Right, random lightning. Okay, then you can refer to your RFS and say, I would like in my RFS.
So, as I said before, I had it in RFS. They made a mistake. I was sending it to correct our mistake so Kathy
But-
wouldn't have problems with it.
Philip, as I just said, and I do this with all my projects too, before I answer back to them, so that we collectively collect our thoughts before giving them a direction, we need to figure out what
No.
page we're all on so we can answer in one email. That's why I sent the email to him that I wanted to hear.
No, you're
Kathy's
giving,
response.
you were giving critique information. That's what the thing. This was the wrong version that they sent.
No,
This is
Philip,
the wrong
you're not
version that they
hearing
sent.
me.
No, you're not hearing me.
I hear you.
What
I
you-
hear that you have requested something specific in the RFS. Great. I think that's
Yes,
wonderful.
because it's not the
But let
version
me
to present to
finish. Let
Kathy
me- please-
to judge
please let
on
me
and then
fin-
send it back to the.
Please.
Okay.
I looked at it and I just wanted her opinion on it before we send them down a road. Okay? That's what I do on all my projects. You know, and that's so we can better serve the hub and they can just when they get into the project, they just do it once rather than getting into the project, changing it and doing it multiple times. This is the most efficient way that I've experienced to be. So that's why I sent that email to Kathy asking her to look at it.
Okay.
And this is what I've said over and over again, that the best way for us to get the most out of them is for us to send one collective email on changes.
And what does Kathy say to me? She wants the complete version before
That's
we send it
fine.
to her.
That's fine.
So I've
And you
made
know
sure
what?
to correct
No,
that
no, no.
mistake.
It's fine. But all I'm just saying is that, you know, all you need to do is send it out to Kathy. This is minus the lightning or whatever that was in my RFS.
Well, I was correcting the issue here.
No, this is you're doing something they asked you not to do.
No, I'm doing something that Kathy told me to do.
Which is what?
To not send her the
You did not send
version.
it to her. I did.
Okay, well, either way, I still have to correct it.
Right. That's fine.
And the sooner we
You know
correct
what?
it, the faster they can get to it.
I'm just saying that you did something that I repeatedly have asked you not to do.
Okay, you're saying that RFS,
I'm-
it was its directions in RFS that they didn't follow.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I am not. That's not anything what I'm saying.
Okay, I have to
I
correct
just want
that
to be clear.
error.
I just want to be clear. I've asked you a number of times not to respond to the hub until we have a collective thought.
And he asked me contrary to what Kathy's been asking me.
No. Kathy asked you not to send her spots. I'm the one who sent her that spot because I wanted her opinion, not you. There is a difference there. All I'm asking, because I do not want to confuse the hub, I just want to send a collective thought.
Being that these graphic requests were personally approved by Lorena, why does she now have to make a decision by committee to get the graphics that were originally requested? Which shows an odd pattern of behavior. Lorena never hesitated to point out every insignificant error of mine in email, CCing Kathy in the process. Yet when it came to major mistakes from the Hub, Lorena doesn't want those corrections to be made? Why is Lorena covering for the Hub's mistakes? So none of Kathy's reasons for the write-up are legitimate and are instead exaggerations, based primarily on misinformation from a lying manager who was likely manipulating other managers into hysteria. Despite what you've heard from Lorena's obstructiveness, of which the email evidence alone was enough to change the outcome, Kathy stood by her manager and assigned blame, stating Smarter Than Your Smartphone was your project. Okay, that does it for 4-2 and 4-3. I apologize for the marathon, but it was absolutely necessary for the public to know as much as possible, because that's what it will take to fight a corporate machine that has no qualms about pulling dirty tricks or turning a blind eye to a manager's misdeeds, even when the hard evidence is slapping them in the face. Alright, we'll see you for the next installment. The American Workplace Bully continues in 4-4. Thank you for watching.